Hello, Adhpa here. So I thought today, for today's video, I'd talk a little bit about why I'm doing this, what this is for me, and then I have kind of a topic in mind I want to talk about, but then I'm going to throw a reading and see what the cards say about it, what I should read on, what I should talk about, what the cards say, and just see how that topic matches up for one thing, and then see what the cards bring out. So the reason I do this is, I've been experimenting with what I call the universal energies for a long time. And so this is part of that experimentation. A lot of people have a lot of ideas about energy and energy work and energy healing. I've been experimenting from the perspective of someone who's looking to experience certain things in life, and then from that work into an energy theory based on my reality and my experience and my studies and knowledge that I've put together, and universal knowledge that's come to light in various other things, and come up with my own theory of what is this, what's going on. And so to that end, I've been doing various what I call energy experiments over the course of a lifetime, to try to pin down truth, what's provable, what's not provable, to maybe find even areas where where scientific method can be applied to determine the actuality and the facts surrounding energies and how they work. And so that's why I'm doing this channel. It's partly a journal to discuss what I'm doing, and to discuss the concepts and to flesh out theories and put them out there and generate ideas, hopefully generate feedback from anyone who's interested and who watches the channel. So I invite your comments about energy, what you think it is, whatever that is, because I'm not coming at this with this is a fact. I'm coming at this that there's something going on that I'm investigating, and I'm loosely calling energy at this point, and what is it and what can we determine about it, and what we as human beings can do with it, above and beyond what we know in terms of electricity and that sort of energy. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera down to the table, have a little look at some cards, see what the cards want to throw on, and then see how that applies to the notes I've written down over here, to see if in any way how the reading brings up a topic related, or if it's related. So loosely, I think cards, other divination tools and stuff working with energy are best applied to help us develop our own thinking and processes and reason, rather than to forecast the future, as it were. I'm not so sure of the forecasting skills involved with it, but I know that it can be very helpful in self-exploration and self-help and self-development, to give yourself topics to think about and work on, and apply things in your life to help you become more successful. So that's how I use them, and that's how I'll be using them on this channel. All right, so hold tight, and we'll have a look at, I'll do a little reading, see what the cards have to say. All right, here we go. Let's see here. We got our Heidi on the playing field. She likes to photobomb, and we can shift around here, and you can see our Manxie there too. So Manxie's little bobtail kitty cat. Heidi's our 22-year-old grandmother, and she loves to be on the camera. Don't ya, precious girl? Yeah, it's a precious girl. All right, so let's have a little 4-card reading. I'm using the Aquarian Tarot deck. This is, oops, I'll show you this real quick. This is the David Paladine deck. Mine is getting pretty well used. All right. Why the crystal? I don't know. I'm just experimenting with it. Quartz crystal has obvious properties relative to light and bending light, and possibly shifting frequencies, you know, various things we use them for commercially, we know. So anyway, so I'm just kind of experimenting with it, and sitting there next to it is my pendulum, which I sometimes pull out just for fun. See what kind of response I get from it on various questions. All right. Now the way I do this, once I get a fairly decent shuffle here, is I kind of flip through and see what card pops out first, and then I'll pull a little 4-card reading based on that, just to give us some idea of something energy-wise to talk about. What's a good thing to discuss today about energy and the topic of energy? What's a good, oh, and there we go. Have a fallout. So I will put that one on the top and see what we got. Oh, very interesting. The Hermit. Introspection. Going within. Shining a light on the path from a point of deep introspection, which would be, the first card is going to be the signifier, the energy, you know, what's going on, and that is in fact what I want to do, is look within from a point of deep introspection. The current challenge card is the 7 of Swords. Swords represent thinking, air sign. Think about air signs and air frequencies. And the 7 is, you know, like a theft, a stealing away of something. So you could say the current energy is thinking being stolen away, people feeling like their communication's been stolen away, people feeling like they're getting away with things, perhaps. People taking things they think belong to them and turning their back on a situation. It can mean a lot of those things. The recent past affecting things is the Queen of Rods. Rods represents a fire sign. It's a passion sign, the inner passion, the heart, if you will. The Queen represents sort of interior actions of the heart, whereas the King would represent exterior actions. So recent history is a lot of internal passions spreading. You know, there's been a agitation of those, and the outcome from that, oh, that's very interesting. The World. The World is the last card in the higher arcana of the deck. It represents an ending, a resolution, completion of a cycle. That's very interesting. And at the base of the deck is the 4 of Rods, which is generally thought of as a celebration card, a homecoming, a wedding, a marriage to something. There's a balance in the 4 passions, the 4 rods, creating an arbor through which is, you know, the home, the heart. You could read it as a heart card as the home of the heart. So that's very interesting. Let me bring us back up here a second, and we'll have a little. Okay, so what do these cards mean? Very interesting, as we're talking about energy here and my theory of energy. And I think what we're seeing here is, first of all, there's 2 higher arcana cards, the Hermit and the World. And those represent, in a tarot reading, the strongest energies. So I would say, first of all, it's saying that the strongest energies in a current reading of the energies has to do with introspection. So I would say it's a very powerful thing for us to be introspective. The other higher arcana card is the outcome, which is the world. It's very interesting because you could read that as all things are possible in the world through an intense and proper administration of your introspection. So how do I read the other cards? Things things that drive our internal passions from the past affect us. Things we have set our hearts to in the past affect how we think about the energies in the present. And I would read the other card as the current situations tend to steal away our attention, or can steal away our attention from this introspection. And, sort of the thinking that we have, if we cling to that thinking, consider what it would take for someone to go in and steal something. They have to really cling to it, want it, desire it, desire to possess it. And by clinging to our thinking too rigidly without being able to be flexible in it, we steal away our attention from that introspection. So I think that that's one interesting way to look at this. If you have comments of how you would read that reading, definitely leave it down below. In terms of the card at the base of the deck, which is, I think that's, I think we all would like to achieve sort of that happy ending, that happy balance, that marriage, that success of the heart-based success. And I think I would read that in this throw, that in our desire to achieve the balance of our heart we're seeking, we need to understand that past actions of the heart and current rigid thinking, stubbornly clung to thinking, affect how we are able to be introspective and therefore achieve the world in how we go. And I think that pretty much says it for me. I mean, my experimentation with working with the energy has revealed to me that how you go about day to day working the energy very much affects what kind of success and outcomes are possible in your world. For me, I have numerous indications and examples of how that has worked for me, either for the good or for the not good, depending on how I was working things. And so I came to this theory that, we have these faculties, physical faculties, mental faculties, heart faculties, and what I would call energy faculties. And that we have to be using them all. And we're missing something by not understanding the energy faculties. So what I wrote down, and we'll see how well this tallies, I wrote down energy v spirit. So for me, I call it energy now. I think when I'm speaking of energy and energy work, I'm talking about things that people have traditionally called spiritual. Not sure how much that came out in this reading, but how it relates to the reading is somewhat interesting to me. For me, I came to my understanding through an experience of life that was not indoctrinated with any particular religious ideology. So I just experienced in life certain things, and I experienced things that I believe in my mind historically have led people to believe in God and religion and various things without having some doctrine imposed on me about what those things meant. So I took them at face value and said, well, what is this? What is this based on reality? Not, what am I actually experiencing that somebody else might call a miracle or the intervention of God or an angelic being or any of these things I might have experienced through either physical reality or perhaps in dream time, without having that indoctrinated view telling me what it is. What was I experiencing and what could it be? What could it be? What is this? What does it describe? And so that's how I've come to think of um, everything is sort of an energy matrix field, and then started investigating, well, how do we work with it? And because there's clearly some interaction between us and that energy field that allows things to happen that are not otherwise explainable. I mean, there is a number of things that can be explained by things we didn't understand at the time, and I'm sure all things can be, but there remains with our best physical science an inability to explain certain things that consistently have happened to people numerous times over time that seem to be something about life that people attribute to God and religion. Not that it's not those things. I don't know what it is. I know there is something, and that's what I investigate and think about and philosophize on in this channel, and particularly with my energy theory. So if you found this interesting and you want to get involved in the conversation, please leave a comment so that I can have a discussion with you if the channel moves forward, if people get interested enough to discuss it. We could do other things, lives and so forth. So I appreciate it if you have stuck it out till the end. I'll throw in a little a cappella. I don't know if it's a treat or a misery, but it was fun. So I thought you might find it fun too, with a little picture of our Heidi. All right. Thanks so much. Check you out next week. I'm an old woman named after my mother.